Everybody, I am back with another animated film, The Rescuers from Down Under. Now, this is like a rare moment because I usually don't like doing this. Because if I'm going to review a movie that is a sequel, I would like to check out the both back to back. But in this case, I remember as a kid, I was a little bit more fonder with Rescuers from Down Under than the previous one. Because I think know I saw the previous one, but probably I only saw it one time. But uh, it was made in 1977. So even though I did see it as a kid, eventually when it was on cable, I know for well, I don't know why, but I know for well I had preferred Rescuers from Down Under more so for some reason. Maybe it's because the difference in quality was drastically different. But growing up, I got a whole new appreciation for different styles of animation over the years, even ones going as far back as maybe the '70s. But at some point down the line, I will review the first Rescuers. Maybe sooner than I might think. Who knows? Maybe I'll pop in March and do a review for the original Rescuers. Uh, but this actually is a fun fact here. The Rescuers had become one of Disney's most successful animated releases. Under the new management of Michael Eisner and Jeffrey Kaisenberg, a feature-length sequel was approved, making it the first animated film sequel theatrically released by the studio. This is following their duties on another animated classic, Oliver and Company, in 1988, same year I was born. And as a matter of fact, now I'm thinking about it, I probably should put Oliver and Company on the list for next year. What the? Yeah, because I definitely want to check this out at some point. Because I remember this being a very fun film. One second here. Probably should I should make like a separate file altogether for January animated film. Yeah, so I can start making up a freaking list going forward. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put like I just reviewed Rescuers from uh uh since we're gonna be doing Rescuers from the Under. I should put like the Rescuers for next year. Yeah, sorry. I just had to like deal with that because yeah, I figured like from moving forward, uh, every uh January, I would put in like a some animated projects that I want to review because you know all too often been wanting to like cover some animated classics, and I figured January is like a good starting point because it's like I want to start for the year with something nice, and I figured like what's nicer than just covering and watching some animated stuff that warms your heart, you know? Anyway, uh, this movie is directed by Handel Boltoy and Mike Gabriel. A couple of people reprising their roles. We got Bob Newhart as Bernard, a male gray mouse, the United States representative of the Rescue Aid Society. We got Eva Gabor, a very iconic Hungarian actress, voicing Miss Bianca, a female white mouse from Hungary, the representative to the Rescue Aid Society. Uh, this was Eva Gabor's last film before she, passed away in 1995. A little fun fact. Uh, uh, so we open in the film in the outback with this kid who somehow, for some reason, is able to just speak to all these little animals. I wouldn't say somehow, somewhere. He's usually like, look, here's the thing. I don't mind typically that children can, like, or at least people can speak with animals, or one person can speak with an animal, whatever. But I don't know. It's just like they don't seem to do much with it. I would probably prefer because this seems like a setting where it's a type of film where I guess maybe they thought it was easier, but like it seems like the type of setting where it doesn't really fit for a kid to understand what these animals are talking about. Because big reason being that this kid who's from the Australian outback, who honestly I'm not sure if this kid really was Australian because his Australian accent doesn't seem to be all the way there, but he ends up befriending this giant golden eagle who uh who lost his mate not too long ago and is protecting her eggs that's going to be hatching soon. And uh the boy kept the golden feather uh the boy named Cody, got a golden feather from this creature. It's like just to show a sign of friendship. But then, after rescuing one mouse that was being used as bait to capture a larger animal, this poacher named McLee, with his pet, I don't know, it's like a salamander. Um, um, hold on. What is that animal? Say, say, uh, what do you call those? Um, crap, dragon something. It was one of those lizards with like the dragon inside. I'm blanking on it. Komodo dragon. This is like a Komodo dragon. It's like something that he has a pet. Joanna, iguana. Yeah, it's a iguana. Uh, and wait a minute. Like if the other animals can talk, why is this eagle can't say anything? You see, it's like you're not committing to the entire bit. If the animals can talk, this eagle should be able to talk too and communicate, not via emotion and just understanding by gazing into his eyes, is whatever the heck the boy was doing. Who, by the way, I think the boy is kind of the weakest link in this entire film. Personally, it really doesn't really do much but be basically a damsel in distress. But I don't know how I feel, because it seems like you're trying to have your cake and eat it too when it comes to, can these animals communicate with humans? Because if so, why don't they try to communicate to this animal? Because communicate to this poacher. Well, I guess if the poacher find out these animals can talk, then it's gonna be like a bigger story on his hands. But it's like, keep the fact that you guys can speak with humans a secret, kind of like Toy Story or something, or commit to it, or it's like, yeah, it's a thing here where animals can speak with humans and go all the way with it. All the way with it. It's either or. You can't have both, in my opinion, because it doesn't make any sense. Because you kind of backtrack or backpedal on certain instances. Anyway, after the boy falls into one of McLee's traps after saving the mouse, McLee notices the golden feather on the boy's backpack. Realizing, because he's the one responsible for taking out the golden eagle's mate. So now he has an opportunity to go after the female one. But the boy seems to know where the eagle's at and not wanting to get caught. So he takes the boy's backpack, throw it into a pit full of crocodiles for the Australian Rangers to find. So that way nobody will become looking for the boy. So he captures the boy, trying to get him to reveal the location of the bird, which he, kudos to the boy, he held strong. But that mouse sees the boy get captured, goes and sends out, goes to some like emergency response animals, sends out a telegram that reaches all the way to New York City to the Rescue Aid Society, and they end up calling in Bernard and Bianca, their top agents, to go to the Australian outback to find the boy. Now, in the previous film, they have this bird friend of theirs named Orville from the previous film to fly them to the outback, but he's not in at the moment. So they go to his partner, voiced by the late great John Candy, named Wilbur, which is kind of like a play on Orville Wright, one of the brothers who is responsible for the invention of a flying machine, or the plane. So nice little thought process there. So anyway, Wilbur flies them to the nearby, plane, so they can hide inside, so they can fly them all the way to the outback. Because obviously, it wouldn't make any sense for a bird to, sure, there are birds that are capable of flying very great distances, but Wilbur's not one of them. So he flies to the local airport, hides in one of the planes that's destined to go to Australia, and they go all the way there to meet up with the local contact in the outback. This hopping mouse, uh, uh, what's this? Uh, Jake, voiced by Tristan Rogers, who's still around, and he's acting in General Hospital. I don't watch General Hospital, but it's like looking up from research. He's still around. So for the time being, Wilbur is kind of out of commission because as he's landed, he kind of threw out his back. It's kind of like a lame excuse just to. It seems like they don't know what to do with Wilbur beyond this point, so they kind of put him out of commission until like partway through the third act. That's kind of, well, that's lame. That's like you could have. You would think he would have been able to aid in this particular mission in some capacity. And besides, you hire John Candy, and it seems like a waste of talent. You know what I mean? Anyway, throughout this adventure, Bernard, as we meet them, he after their adventures from the previous film, they fell in love, became a couple. Now he really wants to propose to her, but he struggles to find the words, and things keep interrupting and mishaps. And Bernard is a very charming character, and you want this guy to succeed, but things keep interrupting. Now that is normally a cliche in this type of stuff, where character is trying to propose to another person, but things keep interrupting, and it can get annoying. But I think this is one of those rare cases where it kind of makes sense. It's not like gimmicky. You know what I mean? It's like it's not pratfalls for the sake of the pratfall. It's like he's trying to in the restaurant to find the words, but there's a hole in his pocket and the ring fell out, and he's trying to get it, but it lands on someone's foot, and he's still trying to come up with the words all the while trying to get this ring. And here he's trying to find like a romantic setting to do the job, but you get interrupted by a snake that Jake ends up taming via the what do you call those maneuvers when taming a horse whispering. But don't know why that will work on any other animal but a horse. That's why they call it a horse whispering. Anyway, and Bernard and Bianca is honestly one of a very charming couple. Like I made a video last year about like the best movie couples, and one of my slides did not work, and I forgot to put it, show it to you guys on a list, but I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. But Bernard and Bianca should be another one in terms of good movie couples. At least underrated movie couples. Anyway, Jake is like a debonair, because it's kind of like the Hugh Jackman before Hugh Jackman was a thing, where he's very charming, and of course Bernard get a little jealous because like the rugged guy from the outback. Clearly, they was took some level of inspiration from Crocodile Dundee for this guy, and so Wilbur, while trying to get his back fixed by the local medics, the three mice go out to the last known location of the boy and try to follow the tracks there. They end up well, at least we go back to the boy, and he sees all these other animals that I think at least a few of them, one of them being a kangaroo that he met up earlier, that told the boy about the trap eagle, because the boy found the eagle trapped by ropes. And now I'm thinking about it, who tied up that eagle in the first place? It had to be McLeod, because well, part of me feels like, okay, it wouldn't make any sense if it was McLeod who's been looking for this bird in the first place. If he tied that sucker up, why bother tying it up? Why, are you leaving it for bait or for something bigger? Because why don't you just snatch it up, kill it, sell it, whatever he's going to plan on doing with it? Why tie it up? So it couldn't have been him. It doesn't make any sense why that bird was trapped there. As now I'm thinking about it, maybe I missed something, because it couldn't have been a McLeod, because he's searching for it so he can sell it. But the kangaroo and a couple other critters is locked up, and it's like, McLeod's been busy. What the hell? So McLeod decides, okay, we'll release the boy, because clearly he's hiding the whereabouts of the young. So he tells this false story about the eagle's dead, so he has no reason to keep him. But the boy falls for the ruse. He goes to try to check on the young, and the guy follows. So he ends up capturing not only the bird but the boy, and all the while the three mice eventually find the boy, but Bernard is the only one that didn't get caught. So Bernard now has to, with the aid of Wilbur, because he finds Wilbur, but he uses he finds his, warthog or some kind of boar or something, using the same technique, because Bernard is he's kind of, early on you see Bernard as kind of like not nervous, but not very gung-ho type of guy, but hanging around in the outback and seeing this guy Jake, in combination of wanting to save not only the boy but his girlfriend, he finds the courage and not getting intimidated by the local wildlife. So he uses the same technique Jake did on a snake on this boar, and rides it to find Wilbur, who he, because thanks to some quick thinking by Bernard, he hides away the eggs, so the poacher and his pet iguana couldn't find them. So he has Wilbur to look after them while he goes to rescue the others, to try to eliminate any witnesses. He's dangling. First of all, I know he's a villain, so you gotta do the dramatic cliches, but you got a gun. Why don't you just shoot the freaking brat in the first place and be done with it? But now I'm thinking about maybe he's doing all this. He's dangling the kid over a pit of crocodiles, or at least on the waters filled with crocodiles. But why you got to go through this whole, Dr. Evil level machinations? Why don't you just throw the kid in there and be done with it? So you could just, torturing just to do it instead of just being done with it. But Bernard managed to catch up, steal the keys, unlock the others, and McLeod and his pet ends up falling into the waters thanks to Bernard tricks Joanna, the pet, to crashing into McLeod and falling, and both end up falling into the waters. McLean ends up fending off the crocodiles, but while his pet managed to, save itself on the shore, McLean fails to notice the waterfall coming up, and he falls to his death. The boy, falls in because the branch he was tied on breaks, but Bernard ends up saving the boy enough, at least holding on long enough for the eagle to escape and save the boy and the other mice. And so now that everything's okay, Bernard's like, okay, I want to do this before there's any other interruptions. So he takes the time right now under the night sky to propose to Bianca. She accepts. Jake salutes him, even though he's been flirting with this girl the whole entire time. And Bianca should have, acknowledged the fact that this guy was clearly hitting on her, and should have immediately nipped that in the bud and said, like, this is my boyfriend, so he can stop with the whole flirtatious acts. But then while they're soaring in the sky, it's like, okay, y'all should be like really, immediately, turning around to go back to those eggs. Because right now they're hatching in front of Wilbur. And if you know anything about animals and, young, they imprint on the first thing they see, or this first, living being they see, and thinking like, oh, that's the mom or something. But I guess, you're thinking too much on that part. It's supposed to be, played for comedic effect. But that's where the movie ends. It's not a bad film, but maybe I'm going on my nostalgia, and this is where it backfires on me, because I remember loving this a lot as a kid. But now looking back and actually, using my adult brain and sifting through scene by scene, it's okay. It's not really anything wrong, but it's just like, man, I used to think like, man, this is like a spectacular film as a kid. It's like, I love watching this. But I don't know. Whenever I go to see the first movie, The Rescuers, at some point, maybe I have like a different emotion towards it than I did as a kid, where it's like, oh wow, I didn't appreciate this back then, but now looking back, wow, I got a whole new appreciation for it. Maybe I'll get that feeling. But as going through this film, I just like, wow, maybe the rose-colored glasses has kind of been lifted, because I remember enjoying this film, but not to the same degree. It's just like, it's all right. It's a fine film. But yeah, that was, The Rescuers Down Under. Sorry it wasn't like more elated about it, but I'm very like average. Even though this is supposed to be like a big deal back when it came out. And it was. But, I don't know. It was a different taste back then. But I don't know. And maybe it's just me. Maybe when other people see this and they had kids, they'll probably have a different, experience. But anyway, I will see you guys next week for a couple more movies, one of which is actually still technically animated because it's rotoscope. I've been meaning to cover it for a long while, but I'll leave it as a surprise for next week. But in any case, if you remember Rescuers from Down Under, or even the original film, The Rescuers, let me know in the comments below what you think of them. And I will see you guys next time. Take care.